Yo Internet, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of Recap Corner. What is going on in this episode of The Walking Dead? Well, this is something new because this isn't in the comics and this is something that is TV made. I mean, when I first started watching this, I kind of thought that this was something that had to tie in with Fear the Walking Dead, which most likely it probably does, but again, just looking at this episode though, it was more or less like, well, you have this tribe of women who basically live out there in the woods and shit, and of course they don't like newcomers. They kill them on sight because they don't want anybody to know where they come from. However, this is a very heavy, this is a Tara-focused episode, which is her and Heath. Of course, they left about 2 weeks ago. It has been 2 weeks, and they plan on checking out one more area and then going back. However, Tara kind of gets knocked over a bridge. Her and Heath are separated, and she has to find her way back to Alexandria on her own. And however, she does have a small ally. I believe the girl's name was Cynthia or some shit like that. Starts with a C, But she helps her get away from this weird ass town in which that she's in, where that they want to kill everybody. Because they're like, well, now we have to get away from Negan and his people because they killed all the men in our community over the age of 10. So we just got the fuck out of there. We just left and we got away, and we kill every single person who comes our way. Which again, if Negan and his people, if they really wanted to find them and they wanted to destroy their community, they most certainly can, because they have more ammo than them, they have more people than them, and also, on top of that, if they wanted to just tear them all down and find them, they fucking could, because that's literally the worst mentality that you can have, which is kill every person that comes our way just so we can be protected. Which does kind of leave you like an avid, which does in so many ways kind of gives away your position, especially since Negan's people that they actually break off in droves. So that's kind of, they have layered units. So that is a thing. So whichever team goes in, if you kill that team, you have two more teams up on the outside, which also have to worry about. So that's also something. But you think about that, and it's like, well, that's a pretty interesting dichotomy that all these women have. However, the only real thing that did kind of come off as a bit odd to me though was when Cynthia was sued. That's not her fucking name. I'm just calling her that now. Her, the attractive, I don't know what in the fuck she is, Caribbean girl. Okay, the attractive Caribbean girl. Her whole mentality is you don't have to kill people. You want to, but then again, the problem with that mentality is that you have to kill them, because some people in this world they don't think like how we do now, which is, we have laws and of course you don't kill people. We are basically living in the Wild West now, so you have to do that shit, But she has a pretty interesting back and forth with her people, and also with Tara, and of course the hard news kind of hits Tara early on, which is when she finally does come back and she learns of Glenn, Abraham, and fucking Denise's deaths and shit. Which again, if it was just Denise, then it would be very difficult to kind of tell her about all this and sort of confide with her. But once you throw in Abraham and you're talking to Rosita, that's already bad enough. And then talking to everybody else, and then, or at least basically also on top of that, she lost essentially the person who kind of saved her from death. In this case, it was Glenn. Now that's just that's just heartbreaking. So the end is very heavy, especially for Tara. She lost essentially a brother figure. She lost her girlfriend, and also she's talking to somebody who basically lost a past lover who she still had feelings for. So that's also something as well. The bigger question that I do have for this episode is necessarily, where is Heath? Because I kind of don't want them to kill him off. They did, throw like a interesting bread crumbs there, with them dropping his glasses and then sort of seeing a woman who had her hair done up the same way as him, minus the headband. So there is something there. I do believe that was Cynthia's mother who she ran into, because again, it's virtually the only other dark-skinned zombie out there. So that does raise a few questions. But until then, though, that is what I gotta say about that. I'll see you on the next Jongravesshow. Please keep watching anime, keep playing video games. This has been Recap Corner. I'm out. Yo, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of Recap Corner. I'm your host, of course, and also what we talking about today in Dragon Ball Super. Dragon Ball Super this week was a bit more goofy than most, especially since it was sort of centered around the whole thing of, well, we have to bring back, who was it? We have to bring back King Kai, Bubbles, and Gregory. Well, are they gonna come back? Not necessarily, because now everybody wants to use the dragon for their own little goofy, like,